Welcome back, everyone. It's good to see you on Zoom. I do hope that you had the opportunity this morning to listen to either the Tashlich podcast, it's really excellent, or the self-guided walk, the list of music, which is really beautiful as well. Raise your hand if you were able to listen to one of those two. Excellence. Really, they're really great. So we return now for our 11 o'clock service. Once again, we invite you, if you'd like, to go into gallery view on the top right to see the members of our community this morning, or on speaker view if you prefer. But we continue now with our High Holy Day liturgy, beginning with Unatana Tokef. Then we'll listen to the words of Avinu Malkeinu, and then we'll continue with the fuller Shofar service this morning, the second day of Rosh Hashana. But first, let's continue with the nigun to warm up and greet the new day. So we continue with the words of Unatana Tokef. Some of you who have studied with me have learned about the Unatana Tokef a bit. It was in the 11th century that it really became a central part of our worship service, when for so many Jews, the divide between life and death was so narrow, as there were threats to the Jewish community all around. And this prayer became emblematic of the Jewish condition. But scholarship now knows that the prayer actually precedes the 11th century, even as found in texts from the 6th century. Solomon Schechter found a document in the Cairo Geniza, buried underneath the synagogue, that contained these very words. And so we as a people have embraced this metaphor as a description of the human condition, that so much is out of our control. And yet, despite that, we can embrace life by making change through good deeds, through repentance, through prayer. And so, Ryan, if you'll begin on page 174 with the translation.
And so, let these words of sanctity ascend to you, for you are our God and our sovereign. Let us proclaim the power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe and inspires highest praise for your dominion. For your throne is a throne of love. Your reign is a reign of truth.
ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא ואיום, ובוא תינשא מלכותך, וייכון בחסד כיסאך, ותשב עליו באמת, אמת כי אתה הוא דיין, ומוכיח ויודע ושופר גדול יתקע, וקול דממה דקה יישמע, ומלאכים יחפזו, וחירורי עדה יוחזו, ומלאכים יחפזו, וחירורי עדה יוחזו. בראש השנה ייכתבון, וביום צום כיפור יחתנו. בראש השנה ייכתבון, וביום צום כיפור יחתמו. כמה יעברו וכמה ייבראו. Hashana ikatevu Uvyom Tzom Kippur yechatevu Berosh Hashana ikatevu Uvyom Tzom Kippur yechatevu Mi yanuach u'mi yanuach Mi yashkit u'mi toraf Mi shalev u'mi yasser Mi ani u'mi ashir Mi yushpan u'mi Berosh Hashana ikatevu Uvyom Tzom Kippur yechatevu Berosh Hashana ikatevu Uvyom Tzom Kippur yechatevu Uteshuvah Utfilah, utzedakah, ma'avirin et roah hagezerah.
On Rosh Hashana, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed. How many will pass away from this world? How many will be born into it? Who will live and who will die? Who will reach the ripeness of age and who will be taken before their time? Who by fire and who by water? Who by war and who by beast? Who by famine and who by drought? Who by earthquake and who by plague? Who by strangling and who by stoning? Who will rest and who will wander? Who will be tranquil and who will be troubled? Who will be calm and who tormented? Who will live in poverty and who in prosperity? Who will be humbled and who exalted? But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree. Now, if you're at home and you're able, we ask you to please rise for Avinu Malkeinu on page 224. And before we listen to these words, we recite antiphonally. Actually, let's begin on page 223 today and read them together. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu Chama Olalenu Ve'al Olalenu V'Tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families.
Avinu Malkeinu Kalei Dever V'Cherev Rav Me'alenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu Kalei Kol Tsar Umastin Me'alenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu Kodvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu Chanenu V'Anenu. Ki en banu masim, asei manu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu, מלכנו, כלי דבר, וחרב ורעב מעלינו. אבינו מלכנו, כלי חוצות ומסתים מעלינו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, כותבנו בספר חיים טובים. אבינו מלכנו, חודש עלינו, חודש עלינו, שנה טובה. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חדש עלינו, שנה טובה. אבינו מלכנו, שמע קולנו, שמע קולנו, שמע קולנו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו ועננו, כי אין בנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו ועננו, כי אין בנו מעשים.
Let's all be seated at home as we now continue with our Shofar service. The Shofar service you will not be able to find in your prayer book, as it's become now, a tradition that we use a different Shofar service that's been arranged by Noah Aronson. I guess the only difference this year is we could not use instruments that require one to remove a mask. But I'm very thankful for our musicians here this morning who will help bring life to the liturgy through the sounds and the celebration of this text. And so let's continue with Malchuyot, the beginning of our Shofar service. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, there shall be a sacred assembly.
ובחודש השביעי, באחד לחודש, מקרא קודש יהיה לכם.
A cessation from work, a day of commemoration.
כל מלאכת עבודה לא תעשו.
Proclaimed by the sound of the shofar.
יום תרועה יהיה לכם.
From the tunnels of shofar comes a wailing and an inner moaning, from the depths of our souls. My heart beats faster when I stand and listen. I enter a mild meditation as the sounds reverberate against the walls of the synagogue and back into my ears. Listening to the Tekiyah, the Shvarim, and the Truah, they enter my heart like waves coming into the shore of the ocean. Tears stream down my face as I think of how I got to this point in my life. Tears of joy mixed with tears of sorrow. Each year we enter a new corridor of hope, grasping onto the branches of the tree of life. Our prayers raise us up on wings of the angelic forces, braiding a crown on the head of the king. We must grab life by its lapels and do what is our divine task. Lift us up over the waters of life. The echoes of the shofar help us to transcend, so we see and regain a perspective on our lives, reflecting on our year behind and setting goals for our year ahead. There is so much to accomplish, no time to waste. The shofar breaks the opposing forces. It breaks apart our individual serenity. It shakes us to our core. The sounds release angst about life's challenges. It's time for renewal. It's time for growth. We are being given another chance on the scales of life.
Wake me up so I can prepare. Listen to my prayer. Hear my voice, I know you'll understand. Wake me to this
And I'm so grateful to Max Goldenson, one of our Chavaya teens, for sounding shofar this morning on our pre-recorded for safety concerns in the courtyard just a few days ago. So before we listen, Cantor, would you offer our blessing?
Big kef, with pleasure. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyemanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
And so if you're able to rise in body or spirit, I invite you to do so at this time. Let's listen to the sound of the shofar.
How beautiful to see people at home joining us on the shofar.
If you're standing, you may be seated.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, זוכרנו וזיכרון טוב לפניך ופוקדנו בפקודת ישוע ברחמים משמי קדם.
Dear God, Moses, placed in the basket by the river, kept silent, too frightened to cry. Abraham, walking up the mountain with Isaac, kept silent, refusing to give way to the wild sounds of his own grief. When Aaron's children were taken from him, Aaron was silent, for there were no words. Ruth walked without sounds to the fields, for she could give no voice to her loss and her hope. We too are fearful. We stay hidden behind our respectable and literal masks. Our tears dried, our faces composed, our fears are unexpressed, our cry buried deep within. Like Moses, Abraham, Aaron, and Ruth, we are too awed or too timid or simply too self-conscious to open our wounds to the world. You've given us a way to cry. Behind the thicket, Abraham found the ram and the instrument to our expression. The shofar will cry for us. In the shvarim, the brokenness that afflicts our hearts. In the truah, the blasts of pain, hope, and recognition that sometimes sear our souls. In the tikiyah, the hope for wholeness. We cry out from healing as we do from hurt. We cry in supplication, in loss, and in love. Dear God, help us learn the sounds of the shofar, the sound of our history, the sound of our sorrows. Let it draw us closer to you with each blast, and with each whispered promise, with each unspoken prayer. T'kiah Gedolah. For ourselves, our ancestors, our children, let us listen to the cries of the shofar. And each note is the secret, ancient anguish of the Jewish heart. And its sound is our awakening and our hope for redemption.
Baruch atah Adonai, זוכר
If you're able, I invite you to rise as we listen to the sounds of the shofar.
Let's be seated.
We believe
believe in tomorrow. We believe that we have the power to make tomorrow different from today. We believe that poverty need not be permanent and that people need not learn war anymore. We believe that there can yet be a time of peace and a time of justice, a time of tranquility for all who live on earth. We believe that we can have a share in bringing that day closer by the way in which we live in this. The world may smile at our dreams, but no matter, we still believe. We as Jews persist in the belief that the human being was created not for evil, but for good, not a curse, but a profession.
Olam chesed yibane, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. And you can build this world from love. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. And if we build this world from love, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, then God will build this world from love. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yalalai, 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 lai, lai, lai.
If you're able, we invite you to please rise.
Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Yalalai, lai, yalalai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Yalalai, lai, yalalai, lai. Yalalai, lai, yalalai.
And so we listen to the final set of shofar calls.
Wow.
Asher koach.
Yalalai, 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 lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Yalalai, 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 lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Yalalai, 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 lai. Yalalai, 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 lai. Yalalai, 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 lai.
continue on page 292 with the words of Mourner's Kaddish. And we invite the mourners in our midst to please use the chat box and type in the names of those individuals they're remembering if you are observing a yahrzeit or are currently within the period of mourning. And then if you'll join me, hopefully we can place the words on the screen. There we go. And let's join together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yalmad yivrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayed d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'galav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'elam u'lomei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata. Ta'miran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh
Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
So soon we will see some of you for our shofar service in our parking lot. For others, you may go do Tashlich by the Charles with our podcast, or you can access a number of other resources as well on the temple website. We invite you to Shabbat Shuvah this coming Friday night, and then followed, of course, by Yom Kippur. Also, keep an eye out for all of the activity that's soon going to begin, especially a program called Babayit, in the house. All of our learning, of course, has to be in the house for now. And so we are inviting our families of all ages, individuals of all ages, to participate in a program called Babayit. So this year, not only will our children enroll in a religious school program, but we hope that our adults do too. So pay close attention for a program called Babayit. I know many of you at services this morning will really appreciate the program. All of our clergy will be teaching within it, as well as our educators. And we're looking forward to taking advantage of this opportunity to study with our entire congregation in the home. Right now, though, let us conclude first with the words, L'shana tova tikatevu. May you be inscribed for a good year, 5,781.
Lishana tova tikatevu, Lishana tova tikatevu, Lishana tova tikatevu, Lishana tova tikatevu, Lishana tova tikatevu. Hashana tova tikatevu.
A special thanks to Stephen Ashkenos and our entire administrative team. This was an incredible feat. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart to our production team that's scattered from the sanctuary to the social hall throughout the building. We thank you immensely. To all of my partners up here, a lot of hard work, but to a great new year. And so thank you.
Thank you to
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And let's conclude.
Let understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom.
Let there be love.
Hashkiveinu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there
We are able to free up the mics finally and wish each other a Shana Tova. Have a great day. To a good year, everyone.
Be our shelter.